Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're on more MR2 content. I'm in the red baby Ferrari, my baby Ferrari. And what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna finish up the front bumper. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put fog lights in. So this is an aftermarket bumper, so it's gonna be a little bit different in terms of how you mount the bumper, but the wire is gonna be the same. So let me show you what we have working with. But this fog light is going in this bumper right here. And I got a switch and some relays, and I'm going to show you guys how to get this done. Well guys, putting fog lights in an MR2 is a pretty simple job, especially if your car is pre-wired. Now what I found is most of these MR2s are pre-wired for fog lights. It was a factory option, so if you, I guess when you were buying a car back in the 90s, if you wanted the dealer to install fog lights, it would be a quick process for them. So all these cars came, I want to say all of them. I'm not sure if every single MR2 came pre-wired, but I think for the most part, most of these cars came pre-wired. So if you have an MR2, chances are you're going to be pre-wired, and I'll show you where everything is. So first thing you need are a set of fog lights. These are aftermarket. You can get them on eBay. They're pretty inexpensive. I know the factory ones are a lot more expensive. The way I see it, I can go through 4 or 5 eBay fog lights before I ever go through one factory light, and you can't find them anyways. So just get the cheap ones and install. You're also going to need a relay. So here is a factory Toyota relay. This one, the part number is 90987-02009. So pretty much any 4-pin relay with this configuration will work. But if you want to get the factory one, you can go ahead and get this part number and you should be fine. And then this is the fog light switch. This is the factory Toyota fog light switch. This just makes it really easy because you just literally plug into the wire harness that's already in the car. You can use the one that comes with a kit, but you're gonna have to pin each to what's in the car. I've done it on my white Gen 5 swap MR2. I got this one used, which worked out pretty good. So I just literally plug and play, and it should work right here in this car. All right, so I'm gonna recommend you start off under the steering wheel section. Now I'm gonna insert a quick video that shows you what it looks like with this cover off, so you can identify this wire. And this is basically the factory harness, wired in harness that just literally plugs into your factory switch. So let me show you that real quickly and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, so for every MR2, for the most part, this wire is, the cars are pre-wired for fog lights. So if you are doing your fog light on the MR2, before you try to reinvent the wheel, just look for that wire. It's under the dash, so just pull off that metal cover. You should be able to see that wire, and then you just use that to get your switch connected. And then I'm going to show you guys in the front where the relay goes and how the wiring is converted for these aftermarket fog lights. Now that you guys know how to identify your wire harness, I mean, obviously you'd have to take this cover off to get behind here, find it. All you got to do is take your factory switch and literally just plug it in. So it just plugs right in like this. There you go. And then you just slip it in. Let's go until it clicks. And you're done on this side. Now we're going to go to the front. I'm going to show you where we put that relay and keep on moving. All right, next you're going to come over to this nicely restored front. Look at all my plastics. Everything is looking nice and sweet. And you're going to go to your fuse box. So remove the fuse box. There's a little clip right here. Just press it in. It comes right up. It's caught on with 2 clips on the back end here. So you want to lift from this side up. And if you look inside here, see it says fog light right here. Now, if you're pre-wired, what you're gonna find is this is gonna be missing the relay, and that's where this guy comes in. So simply take your relay, look at the configuration, and you just put it in. Only fits one way, and just plug it in till you feel it snap in, and that's it. In terms of what you need to do, it's the switch, it's the fuse, and then all we gotta do now is go down to the bumper. We're gonna find the wire harness for the fogs, and then we're gonna wire in. We're gonna cut the plugs from our kit, and we're gonna snip it into the ones here in the car, plug them in, and they're gonna work. The hardest thing you're gonna have to do is mounting it. Now, if it's an OEM bracket, I'll show you what that looks like. So here's what the aftermarket bumper looks like versus what the OEM is, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wire it in. So this is what we're working with, guys. This is the border front bumper. And as you can see, we got a huge hole right there. That's for the turn signal. And then we got a huge hole right about there, which is how the kit comes, which I don't like. It just looks ugly. So what I'm gonna do is throw a fog light in there. I think that will fill that gap. Initially I was going to throw some type of mesh, wired mesh, but it kind of looks ricey and it's not covering up as much as I'd like to have covered up, so you don't see through and see the AC dryer and all the crap that's behind here. So this is what it looks like on the passenger side, which is finished. So I think that's a much cleaner look. You know, kind of finishes up the car a little bit, makes it look more polished, and it doesn't make this bumper look so aftermarket. So that's what I'm doing. Real quickly, what we're gonna do is show you guys how to put in these fog lights, wire them up. Most of these cars are pre-wired for fogs, so it's really not a big deal, but if you don't know, you don't know. So this is gonna basically help anybody out if you're trying to do this to your car. Now, this is obviously an aftermarket bumper. If you look at the factory bumper, then this car is an NE, and I threw in the fog lights in. So what you'll essentially have to do is you're gonna have to cut this piece. So from right here, you gotta cut it out, and the fog light goes in. There are two holes right there where you can bolt the fog lights in, and there's a rear clamp that you can use, a bracket that you can use, but in my case, I did not use it. I just bolted up to the top of the crash bar, and it's been holding up pretty fine. Again, I don't drive this car, so I don't know. I don't drive it a lot, so I don't know long term how well it will hold up, but it looks pretty good and kind of works out fine. I'll show you guys on the NA chassis what the NA bumper looks like when you have to cut it. This is our NA chassis, and as you can see right about there, that's the piece you'd have to snip out. If you actually take the bumper off, which I don't recommend because it's too much work to get this done, there's actually cut marks on the back, so Toyota marked it from the factory where you could actually cut it out, and I guess that's how they install factory headlights. So it is set up to take fogs, just never came on most NA models, well, all NA models I'd say, and some turbo models it didn't come with fog lights. But that's just how you mount it in terms of wiring. That's going to be exactly what I'm going to show you guys right now, so let's get right into that. Alright guys, so here's what's useful about what we're doing here. Now this is the switch that comes with the factory kit. We have a relay that comes with the factory kit and 2 wire harnesses. So technically they've given you everything in the kit for you to just physically wire this whole thing into the car. Now we don't need all of that. We don't need the relay. We do not even need the switch if you have the factory switch like I do. If you don't, then you have to just pin this to match what's over there. All you're gonna need is this harness that literally plugs into the fog light right here, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut right here, and we're gonna go identify the wire harness in the bumper. We're gonna snip this piece into this part of the car, plug it in, and that's it, it's done. So if you get all of this, don't feel like you have to go run cables all over the place, because I've seen cars where people run wires to their frunk and to the battery, and 9 out of 10 times the car is pre-wired. You don't need all of this. You get a nice clean install without using all of this crap, okay? Well, it's not crap, but you get what I'm saying. So let's go find the wire in the front, and let's snip this off, put it in, and see if this fog light works. All right, so the good news here is this border bumper and this fog light actually go well together. So if you look, you can actually just slip it right in, and it just fits in perfectly, fills the gap. All the challenge is the mounting points right here, they're not necessarily aligned. They're not aligned actually with this bumper and the factory bumper bar. If you're doing the OEM bumper, they're gonna align perfectly once you cut that slit. But for this bumper, you gotta get creative. I'm not gonna show you how to do that because I'm basically going on the near and throw some brackets in to make the factory bumper bar and the fog lights work. So you guys will see the finished product, but I'm not gonna get into detail with that because it's very hard to film and I don't feel like doing that today. Now we're gonna cut the harness that came with the kit. Now I'm gonna snip the harness that came with the fog lights. So just give yourself some extra room to work with. So when you are wiring it into the car, you have some play. So don't cut yourselves too short. So I'm just gonna do like a right about here, cut this off, and now I'm gonna strip the ends of these, and then we're gonna go to the car. We're gonna identify the wire. We're gonna cut that wire. We're gonna splice this in. It helps when you have these tools because it just makes your life easy. So real quickly, you just snip, and we're gonna turn these. I'm gonna use some butt connectors to connect into the harness, so I can actually go ahead and just get these installed right here and right here. And all we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this, I'm gonna press them down, and then we're gonna head over to the car. All right, so hopefully you guys see where we're going with this. So we have this harness ready to be plugged into our fog lights. So if we need to remove the bumper, we can just unplug. So we're not hardwiring this into the vehicle. Now we have to identify where's the plug on this thing. So if you take the side marker out, you can, or if you just look up under your bumper, you can go fish for wires. And you're gonna see a harness that's integrated into the turn signal harness. And there you go. This one, the 3-pin, this is for the turn signal. And then if you look, you're gonna see this one wrapped up and taped up underneath there. It's a 2-pin. This is for your fog light. Now we want to make sure, you know, with older cars, always make sure you have power here. So put in your switch, put in your relay, check for power before you finish everything up. Just because one, you want to identify which wire is ground, which one is live. And this is kind of easy to figure it out because that's red, that's typically live, and that's white one is the ground. But I'm going to use my tester. We're going to turn the lights on and we're going to turn the switch on for the fog lights. And we're going to test it. Now bear in mind, I have the switch in and I have the relay in already. So let's turn on these lights and let's check. All right, I got the lights on as you see, and I have the fog light switch on. So let's go check which one is power. So that is not power. And this one, there you go. So if I turn the fog light switch off, this light in my hand will go away. So I know for sure that the red wire is going to be the live. So when I wire this in, I'm going to put red to red and blue to white here, and that should work. So now I'm going to cut this right here, and before I even button it up, I'm going to test it to make sure it works. But now we have to cut this off because we don't have a connector that matches this factory piece for our aftermarket headlights, and that is the reason why we got to splice the aftermarket stuff into the factory harness. I'm just going to cut back this factory harness shield because it's kind of hard. I could just snip it, but I like to pull this back so I know exactly where I want to cut. And for whatever reason, I always cut a little bit back because just in the unlikely event I ever use this factory harness, which I doubt I'll ever do, but I like to save these stuff. Don't ask me why. I just like to do that. So we're going to cut this back. And now this gives me some room to like snip it right here, and then I can have some room to wire this connector in. And we're just testing it if it's gonna work. There you go. So now we know our light comes on. So we know our wiring is gonna work. So now I'm gonna button this up. All right, we're all wired in. Everything is secured. Let's plug it in. Let's test it one last time before we mount it. We're gonna plug it in. I'm gonna just rest it in here so you guys get an idea what it looks like. Now let's turn on the fog lights. Let's see if it works. All right, let's flip the switch. All right, switch is on, fog lights work, and I already did the passenger side, so that was done already. I just did this for the video, so I knew it was gonna work. Hint, hint. But yeah, so now I'm gonna mount this inside of the vehicle and put the side marker in, and this front is gonna look a lot better than it does with these two open holes. So hope you guys like this. You won't hear me talk anymore. I'll just show you what the finished product looks like, but quick video just to show you if you're pre-wired with your MR2, it's very quick to install your fog lights. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you on the next one.